It's time for the trackers.
Nigel, you want to hit us with the old PG-rated curse tracker?
Yeah, this one was easy. There were not any curses from anybody, I don't think. I didn't catch anybody swearing in the whole movie. So this is only the fourth movie that we've reviewed that doesn't have any swears or curses from Nick Cage in it. The other three being Willy's Wonderland, because he doesn't talk. Mandy, because he barely talks. It's just super violent. And then the first National Treasure. He doesn't swear in that one either, because that was the other PG one. So,
not a single swear in the first movie at all?
Nope. Not from him. I don't think from anybody else, but yeah. So yeah, we're still at 672. This did not move the needle.
Right on. Runtime, this was 124 minutes, which is a full 7 minutes shorter than the first movie, but still felt really long. Why do they make these movies so long?
I don't know. I think it was like you give Jerry Bruckheimer a blank check and have him make whatever the hell he wants to produduce at that time.
Yeah. Pays off. It pays off for him because he
does pay
turn
off,
blockbusters.
Yeah. 124 minutes. That is the fifth longest movie that we've ever done. Face Off is still the longest, surprisingly. 139 minutes.
This feels way longer than Face Off.
Yeah, it does.
Did, yeah. Nudity, of course, none. PG Disney movie. Yeah. State and country tracker. So we did Washington, D.C. Then we went over to Paris. Then we went to London. Then came back to D.C., went to Maryland. Then went to Virginia. And then went to South Dakota. Some of those places we had been before. But now we have 24 total states. I think we added Maryland and South Dakota. We had been to Virginia in Dying of the Light. Mm-hmm. We had been to technically France because of French Caribbean or French Virgin Island or something like that in Lord of War. So we technically had been to France, but we'd never been to Paris. This is our first time in England. Which is crazy. We've been what is this, like 38 movies? First time we've gone to England. First trip to Maryland, first trip to South Dakota. So that brings us up to 24 total states and 19 total countries. This had a budget of $130 million, which is a ton. But it made 459. So by Hollywood math, definitely made back its money. And then some. Brings our grand total up to $1.206.7 billion budget with a $2.843.4 billion gross. I feel like these numbers just don't mean anything once you hit a certain number.
Yeah. I mean, all it means is that no matter what, he's going to end his career in the positive.
I think
he'll be productive.
Yeah. At this point, I think we can pretty much call it that he's going to end up at least double.
Yeah.
If not triple. But Book of Secrets actually is now our top grossing film and was his top grossing film. I don't know if I want to spoil what his top grossing film is. I don't know if you guys can guess.
What Nick Cage's top grossing film is?
Yeah, his top grossing film of all time.
Do we need to put an asterisk? Is it like him in a lead role, or is it him in a supporting role? Because if it's supporting role, I'm gonna say Into the Spider-Verse is probably his highest grossing film all time. No,
Nope.
The Croods 2.
The Croods,
Yeah.
I had to be animated. Yeah,
over 500 on that one.
that makes sense.
Which is a somewhat recent film, so
yeah, those movies were huge.
Yeah,
huge.
And he was a leading role in that. No, he's animated, but anyways.
Yeah.
So top grossing top two on our list at this point, we still have a long ways to go, but our top two are both National Treasure movies.
That's fucking funny, too.
459.2 for Book of Secrets, 347.5 for the original National Treasure.
Wow.
A lot of money. I mean, that's, almost $1 billion from National Treasure. Why did they not make a third movie?
I don't know. There had to have been other red tape shit going on.
I bet the Marvel stuff.
I mean, the first writer's strike happened right after this movie came out.
True.
So maybe that put a damper on things. And then he maybe he is scheduling from other stuff because he was really busy for a couple of those years, and then Ghost Rider happened, Spirit of Vengeance, and then maybe that tanked his goodwill.
His
and
stock,
yeah, it was too risky because I think Disney had also just had problems with like what Lone Ranger came out and bombed, and John Carter of Mars bombed, and there was some other stuff that I'm sure they had around this time that weren't doing so hot. Which was weird though, because you'd think that we'll just go back to the National Treasure well, because those movies made a ton of money and that's guaranteed. And we made fucking 5 Pirates of the Caribbean sequels. So.
I think it probably did have to do though with Marvel being so successful, then being able to then like not have to rely on their own franchises that they did.
When did they buy Marvel Studios?
They bought it.
Iron Man came out in 2008, and I think they bought it the year after that.
No,
they really buy it that
because
quickly
Thor
after?
wasn't a Marvel, or not Thor. Incredible Hulk wasn't Marvel. That was Sony.
It was Universal.
It was Universal, yeah.
Oh yeah,
co-published.
It's still Universal still
it's distribution
owns the Hulk.
rights. They own the distribution rights to it. It was whatever the term is.
They have the same deal with Universal on a Hulk movie. If they did a solo Hulk movie,
that's right.
Money goes to Universal.
Yeah,
that's why they haven't done a solo one since the first one.
Yeah, you're right. It was 2009 that they bought him, Nigel.
Okay, makes sense.
Because I think like the original, like the
Disney,
stinger at the end of
Marvel.
Iron Man was like the setup maybe for a sequel. They didn't really have the idea. They sort of had the idea for the Avengers cinematic, or maybe a sequel stuff, but not a whole cinematic universe until Disney bought them, and then they sort of making those plans.
Yeah, I was watching that 10-year or 15-year retrospective with Favreau and Feige, and they were talking about how they put that thing with Sam Jackson in there just because they had been modeling after Sam Jackson in the comics.
Yeah.
And they never intended for him to come back. They were just like, oh, won't it be fun for fans of the comics to see this? So
yeah,
that's funny. Wow. And look, we're
so you're right. That's sort of when the movie landscape changed, at least for Disney. So maybe they stopped trying to focus on things like National Treasure, and
they might have been planning to come back to it, and then Nick Cage's career tanked. So
yeah,
I bet that also. Yeah, I'm sure that didn't help too. Is after Spirit of Vengeance, they were like, maybe not. He's not.
After 2012, he kind of jumped away from blockbuster stuff and wanted to do more small things. So maybe back then he was like, no, I don't want to do another National Treasure.
Could be. Well, because we talked about how Spirit of Vengeance burned him out on doing blockbuster movies. He didn't want to be part of that anymore. So
he wanted to do more art house stuff again.
I'm sure there was a mix of him, Marvel, and then
2012 is also when the Star Wars purchase happened with Disney. So they shifted their plans a lot.
They shifted their focus and their finding. Yeah, I bet you had a lot to do with that. Marvel and Star Wars probably took up a bunch of their focus.
Yeah. Anyways, on the ratings, this was the 3rd PG film that we've done. The other National Treasure was also PG, and I forget what the other one was. Deadfall, definitely. No.
Yeah, Deadfall was PG.
No, wasn't it? Wasn't it like Family Man or one of those other?
Oh yeah, I think it was The Family Man.
Was Family Man PG?
I think so. I think it was.
Sure, anyways, shit doesn't look like any of the other ones we're looking at here on the list.
Yeah, we've had
or was
tons of R-rated movies. No, I think it was PG-13.
It was
Raising Arizona.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was Family
9 PG-13, 6 unrated, and 3 PGs. Still haven't done a G, but that's going to change on our second to next episode. I believe is going to be a G-rated movie, so we'll finally get one. Anyways, that leads us over to the kill tracker.
Super easy, just like Nigel. 0 kills. And
technically, he indirectly had.
You guys won't let me count that fucking pilot from Wicker Man, so we can't kill.
No, it's counted.
Okay. So then I'm going to count. So then do we count this one? Because he left him to die.
No, he tried everything he could to save Wilkinson.
Yeah, true. So 0, because he didn't. He actually tried to save him. Unlike that pilot, he just said, fuck you.
He definitely brought that pilot to the island. So
yeah, he did. Yeah. So 0 kills. So we're still at 181. And once again, another movie where Nick survives. So we're at 0. So still 11 deaths. Our kill count's going to go up real, well, not super high, but it's going to get a pretty good jump after we do Renfield. So We'll see that needle move here. I think we'll break 200.
It's like 400 of them in Spirit of Vengeance, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna top Spirit of Vengeance
No,
for a single film.
No.
Yeah.